be talking about today is it's commonly known as imposter syndrome. Being the other means you are the minority in a group, right? So for me, that meant that I was the only Mexican within my white friend group, right? And I was also the only one who played sports, and I played softball amidst this like group of girly girls. So, you know, the softball thing didn't bother me too much, but being the only Mexican in a group of white people, you know, sometimes my one friend I had, we would drive by houses and there would be Mexican workers working, and she'd be like, "Oh, Lexi, look, it's your uncle." Or, I said that kind of snobby-ish, but like, you know, I think it was meant to be a joke, and it totally was a joke. But, you know, it would affect me. It would affect that part of me that says I don't belong, right? I'm not enough. It probably started even younger, when I was in elementary school, and I remember I was in 4th grade. My parents had just transferred me from public to private school, and, you know, of course, which makes, you know, sense. This was in early 2000s. A lot of the private schools were white, and I was one of two, probably. There was one other girl, and she was Italian, right? And I was Mexican, and we both had hairy arms, right? Like, I don't know, can you see? Right? Like, I have kind of, I don't know if you can see it that well, but, you know, I have hairy arms, whatever. When I was born, I had a unibrow. Like, that's fine, right? Like, I'm Mexican, I came out hairy. Like, it's cool. So she had hairy arms, and I remember the kids would make fun of her, and they would, like, call her a monkey. And, you know, I think that one time someone in school pointed out to my arms, and they were like, oh, like, you know, they were like, oh my gosh, like, they pointed out, like, my hairy arms, right? And it really hurt my feelings. You know, even talking about it now, it actually does bring up some emotion for me, because I don't think I've really talked about this with anyone before, because I never saw it as significant. But it did, it hurt. It hurt because it was other kids, you know, it was like a version of bullying. It was like, you're not enough. Like, you're weird. You're not, no, what you are doesn't fit in right here, right? So, you know, as I got into high school, or like, you know, probably right after that, when I got 6th, 7th grade, I was shaving my arms, right? I was like trying to like fix myself so that I could fit in. And I think that dragged a lot through high school too, to where, you know, I was, the only thing that mattered to me was fitting in. I was so scared. I was so fearful of not being cool, or not being in, right? I was so terrified of it. And you know, being the other in a group is not easy. It's definitely not easy. I guess since I'm really just kind of reliving this part of my life, you know, I don't feel like an other anymore. But I definitely do think that those memories are still ingrained in my head, and maybe, which is a part of the reason that I made this show, maybe that is another aspect that has contributed to me answering that question, am I good enough, with a no. You know, maybe some of that has to do with those automatic no's. Like, am I good enough to start this business? Am I good enough to get this job? Am I good enough to get this acting role? You know, maybe some of it started there because I felt like such an other. You know, I felt like I didn't belong. And I'm sure a lot of people have felt like that. And as you get older, I guess, you know, you hopefully start to feel in this world that you're never an other. No one is an other. And those things that happened when you were younger were there to help you grow. I guess, you know, I don't really have much of a well thought out, well put together point about being the other, because there's a part of it in me that still does hurt. So, I guess for me, and maybe for you, if you still have some of that pain in you, it's just about going to that pain and kind of feeling it and letting it be and not judging it and finding some healing through that. And yeah, so that's, I think, what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on healing that part of myself that's, that imposter syndrome, that one that says I don't belong in the room, or, I need to be super polite, or I need to be really nice, or, anything like that. I think it all plays in. So I'm going to work on that. And if you feel like you need to work on that, then I am glad that I shared this with you today. But yeah, I just want you to know, me to know, am I good enough? Yes. Are you good enough? Yes.